There comes a moment in life, and it usually doesn't move first. It just slips in. After sleepless nights, after broken plans, after one too many attempts to fix something that simply won't budge. You've been doing everything, haven't you? Hustling, grinding, meditating, journaling, manifesting, praying, planning, more action, more intention, more focus, and still, nothing's moving. You glance up at the skyline, almost whispering, "Why isn't this working?" But here's the honest and oddly freeing truth. You've been trying to force alignment with a clenched fist. And the universe? It doesn't respond to clenched fists. It responds to surrender. Carl Jung said it simply. What you resist not only persists, but grows in size. So even though you're busy affirming your future out loud, somewhere deep inside, your energy is whispering the opposite. I don't have it. I'm not enough. I'm scared. And the universe? It listens to that energy, not the words. That's why things aren't unfolding. Not because you're not working hard enough. Not because you're broken. But because you're stuck in survival mode, trying to control what was never yours to command. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you want. And when your whole identity is centered around fixing, chasing, solving, your life becomes a mirror of the very emptiness you're trying to escape. So, what if the most powerful thing you could do right now isn't another strategy? What if it's to stop? Stop grasping. Stop pushing. Stop proving. Not out of fear, but out of faith. Not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. Because when you stop doing, you start becoming. When the noise quiets, the unconscious starts to stir. When you stop interfering, the psyche begins to repair itself. The shadow, the wounded parts, starts to integrate. And suddenly, reality aligns. This isn't about giving up. It's about giving in to something deeper, something timeless. Let go and watch what unfolds. Chapter 1. Stop chasing. You're blocking yourself. We've been sold a very convincing lie. That success comes from chasing. That happiness is a result of grinding. That if we just run faster, hustle harder, and never let up, eventually, what we want will fall into place. But that's not what Carl Jung taught. Jung didn't tell us to chase our dreams. He told us to turn inward and ask, why am I chasing this in the first place? Because sometimes, what we're chasing isn't the real desire. It's a bandage for a deeper wound. When you're consumed with wanting love, is it really about connection? Or is it about trying not to be abandoned again? When you're obsessed with building wealth, is it about freedom? Or are you still trying to prove something to the people who once made you feel small? Jung's brilliance wasn't about motivation, it was about confrontation. He once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Translation? If you don't bring your old wounds to the surface, they'll keep quietly steering your desires. You'll keep running toward things, thinking they'll make you whole, but they never do. Because life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you want. So if, deep down, you still feel fragmented, desperate, not enough, then even when you chase your goals, they slip through your fingers. Not because the goal is wrong, but because the energy behind it is off. Your vibration is saying, I'm not home. I need this to feel complete. And the universe replies with perfect clarity. You're right. That's why you burn out chasing relationships that drain you, careers that don't fulfill you, validation that fades the moment you get it. It's not that you're doing the wrong things. It's that the self behind the doing is bleeding. And here's the hardest truth of all. Even if you got the thing you're chasing right now, the love, the money, the success, you probably couldn't hold it. Your hands are still trembling with old pain, still grasping from a place of lack. Jung wasn't trying to help you manifest from ego. He was guiding you to integrate your soul, to stop chasing, and start facing the part of you that's been silently screaming, I don't want success. I want to feel whole. So here's the shift. Before you ask the universe for more, ask yourself, what part of me still feels empty? Because once you tend to that part, once you feel that emptiness, you stop chasing what was never yours, and you begin attracting what was always meant for you. This doesn't mean abandoning your goals. It means cleansing your reasons. It means becoming someone who doesn't need to manifest to feel worthy, because they already are. Only then will the universe stop testing you and start trusting you. Chapter 2. The unconscious is always listening. Most of us wake up every day thinking life is testing us, throwing problems in our path to see how much we can handle. But what if life isn't testing you at all? What if it's simply mirroring you? This is where things get real. Life doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you own. Not your affirmations, not your Instagram captions, but your deep, unconscious identity. The belief system that silently drives your decisions. Carl Jung knew this better than most. He once said, "Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart." Who looks outside dreams? Who looks inside awakens. Translation: stop chasing signs in the sky and start reading the signals in your soul. Because here's the hard truth. If your unconscious mind is filled with doubt, fear, trauma, or a sense of unworthiness, it doesn't matter how many times you say, "I'm enough." You could write it 1,000 times, chant it into a mirror, or tattoo it on your wall. But it won't land. Because deep down, you don't believe it. And you can't fake it with the unconscious. It hears everything. It remembers everything. It's the one really running this show, even when you think you're in control. Think about it. That tightness in your chest when you imagine your dream life, that uneasiness when you think about your goals, that's not intuition. That's your unconscious whispering. Do you actually believe this is possible? And the world? It just reflects that back. So the blessing you're waiting for doesn't come, not because you're unworthy, but because your energy is still saying, "I'm not ready." So what do? You stop. Stop begging. Stop forcing. Stop slapping on more positivity when your inner world is in chaos. Because real power doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from presence. From being still enough to hear what your unconscious has been trying to tell you all along. When fear rises, don't run from it. When doubt appears, don't bury it. Sit with it. Decode it. Because every fear is a message. Every hesitation is a signal. Your unconscious is always speaking. The question is, are you brave enough to listen? And here's the twist. When you finally stop doing, when you stop trying to force divine timing to fit your human timeline, that's when the shift begins. That's when energy starts to align. That's when the unconscious starts resisting. That's when life starts saying, "Okay, now you're ready." You're not here to chase alignment. You're here to become it. And becoming, it begins in stillness. Chapter 3, Detachment isn't giving up, it's awakening. Let go. Not because you're giving up, not because it's hopeless, but because something deeper inside you has finally awakened to this truth. You were never meant to control the world. You were meant to understand yourself within it. Detachment isn't apathy. It's not pretending nothing matters. It's reclaiming your energy from all the places you've been pouring it out and getting nothing back. It's the quiet confidence that says, "I've done my part. Now I surrender what's out of my hands." Carl Jung taught us that transformation doesn't come from obsession. It comes from surrender. But let's be honest. You can't fake detachment. You can't scroll through social media saying, "I don't care anymore," while secretly refreshing your phone every 5 minutes, waiting for that one message, that one sign, that one shift. The unconscious doesn't hear your words. It hears your vibration. And if your energy still says, "I need this to feel home," then life will keep showing you all the ways you know it. Detachment isn't about letting go of desire. It's about letting go of dependency. It's standing in your truth and saying, "Even if this never happens, I'm still enough." And here's the paradox. When you truly reach that place, when your energy no longer needs the thing, that's when everything starts to flow. Not because you chased it, but because you stopped resisting it. Life doesn't bend for people who are begging to be complete. It bends for those who already are. So if you're in pain right now, if you're stuck in that endless cycle of waiting, obsessing, overthinking, pause. Not to numb yourself, not to distract yourself, but to ask, what part of me still believes that this one thing will fix everything? The version of you that's waiting for love, for recognition, for success. That version doesn't need fixing. It needs witnessing. Not by your ex, not by your friends, not even by your parents. By you. Because once you can see yourself clearly, without shame, without judgment, you stop looking outside for mirrors, and you start becoming your own. No more chasing, no more proving, no more obsessing, just being, unapologetically, powerfully you. Chapter 4, Allow the Void. Here's where things get uncomfortable. After you've let go, after you stop chasing, something strange happens. Nothing, no signs. No breakthroughs, no cosmic fireworks, just silence. You wake up, and everything looks the same. No new opportunities, no calls, no validation, This is what Carl Jung called the creative void, the place where your old self has died, but your new self hasn't yet arrived. It's terrifying, because there's no map here, no proof, no Instagram quote to reassure you that you're on the right path. Just you, and the quiet. But here's the truth, this void, it's not punishment, it's purification. It strips away everything you were clinging to, external approval, fake certainty, delusions of control, until all that's left is your truth. And if you can stay with it, if you can breathe through the silence, if you can resist the urge to panic or fill the space with noise, that's when the magic begins. Because while you're sitting in what feels like stillness, everything is actually being rearranged beneath the surface. The universe is always listening, not to your panic, but to your presence. So don't rush the void. Don't try to fill it with distractions. Don't convince yourself it means you failed. Because it's in that empty space, where you feel like nothing is happening, that everything is being rewritten. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. And when you finally understand how to hold that stillness, that's when life gets loud again. But this time, it sings you song. Chapter 5. You become what you're willing to feel. Let's stop pretending that healing is some glittery path full of yoga mats, green juice, and good vibes only. Real healing? It's raw, it's messy, and it will humble you. Because healing means feeling. All of it. The saying, the fear, the rage, the grief you swore you buried years ago. Carl Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. He wasn't trying to scare you. He was just telling the truth. You don't evolve by escaping your darkness. You evolve by entering it. Not to drown in it, but to reclaim what was lost inside it. So if you're feeling broken right now, good. That's not a sign that you failed. That's a sign that you're finally alive enough to feel what your old self never could. You're not here to suppress emotions. You're here to integrate them. Because the version of you who gets everything you've been asking for, they don't live in denial. They've made peace with their pain. They've stopped running from their past. They've allowed themselves to be fully seen by themselves. So when sadness rises, stop labeling it as low vibe. When fear comes up, stop trying to out-manifest it with fake positivity. Sit with it. Let it speak. Because beneath every painful emotion is a part of you that's just begging to come home. You want alignment? Then become someone who's no longer scared to feel. Because once you can feel it without letting it consume you, that's when you've won. That's when your unconscious stops protecting you with old patterns. That's when your body starts trusting you again. That's when your nervous system finally says, we're safe now. And safety? That's the frequency that miracles respond to. Chapter 6. This is the work. The final truth is the one no one wants to hear. You don't need more affirmations. You don't need another alignment coach. You don't need another book, another course, another checklist of how to raise your vibration. You need to feel. You need to listen. You need to be still enough to let the unconscious speak. Because your life right now, it's not random. It's not bad luck. It's not the universe ignoring you. It's a perfect reflection of what you're available for. Not consciously, but unconsciously. Your relationships, your job, your bank account, your emotional triggers, all of it. You're not being punished. You're being shown. So the question isn't, how do I attract something better? The real question is, what inside of me still believes I don't deserve it? This isn't about blame. It's about radical ownership. It's about realizing that every time you overthink, every time you seek validation, every time you shrink for the comfort of others, you're not failing. You're just repeating. And that's the doorway. Because if you can see it, you can change it. Not by fixing yourself, but by remembering who you were before the world taught you to abandon your truth. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about coming home to who you've always been. And that's the word. The final word. This is the shift. From chasing to allowing. From affirming to embodying. From faking confidence to being safe in your truth. When you finally stop trying to manipulate the external, and you begin to listen to what's real within, that's when alignment finds you. Because life isn't asking you to try harder. It's asking you to come home. To yourself. To your truth. To the version of you that was always enough. Even before the world taught you to doubt it. So, no, you're not broken. You're becoming. And that is sacred.